Okay, welcome back to Talking Headstones. I'm KC. I know it's been a while since we've done a video, so today we're going to be visiting the grave of Alicia Snaith, and we'll also be taking a look at her roadside memorial. So we're walking up towards where her memorial is now. So this story is about her, and it's also about what I witnessed that night. Um, it was April 25th, 1997, which is Anzac Day here in Australia, which is a day where we remember our war veterans. So I probably got to the Lapsden Hotel, which is in Blaxland, New South Wales. This is where this occurred, in Blaxland, New South Wales, Australia. Went to the Lapsden Hotel with a mate. We played Tour, which is a gambling game, which is only legal on Anzac Day. So we would have got there at about, I don't know, say midday. We would have had a few drinks and played Tour, hung around. So in the background there, you can see up there is the Lapsden Hotel. So we would have been just doing what you do on Anzac Day, remembering our fallen soldiers, playing Tour, having a few beers. So we'll start walking up the road. It's probably about 500 metres to Alicia's memorial. So like I said, to our right there is the Lapsden Hotel. So my story began, I probably left the hotel at, I'm not really sure what time it was. I'm thinking it was well after 6, so it might have been about 8 p.m. and I was going to leave the pub at the Lapsden Hotel and head up to the other bar that's in Blaxland, up in the town, which is the Blaxland Tavern, because they have music playing there, and it was just where everybody was going. So across the road there is Brooklyn's. Back in the day, back in the 70s, that used to be a car yard, but I think in the mid 80s, the car yard closed down, and when we were teenagers back then, we used to play around in the office, get up to no good. So the Professor, the charcoal chicken, is probably and Monty's Pizza there is probably the two longest shops that have been there. Across in those trees there is the KOU Chinese restaurant. Well, we get past this car. Don't know if you could see it. That's been there ever since I can remember. So, like I said, we're in Blaxland. We're walking up the highway towards her memorial. So, like I said, I was sick of being at the pub, so I decided to go up to the tavern where it was a bit more exciting. So, as I was walking up towards the Blaxland Tavern here, I don't know if I could see whether it was a tow truck, but I'm sure there was some flashing lights. I know it wasn't an ambulance or the police, because by the time I reached the site where she was at, there was no police or ambulance there yet. So we're coming up to the memorial now. I don't know if you can make it out from this far away, but as I was approaching, the car who I knew was driving, I won't say her name because I am still pretty close friends with a family member of hers. She had mental health issues and was on antidepressants and was supposed to be taken care of, or she was under the care of her sister, but she didn't really take much care of her because they were at the pub drinking while she was on medication. I saw her there, and luckily for me, because I did ask her. I heard that she was going up to the tavern and driving up. To me, I didn't know how much she'd been drinking because I was probably pretty drunk by that time anyway. And I asked her for a lift, and by the will of God or just luck, she said that her car was full. So I said, yeah, no worries, I'll just walk up there. And luckily then, I wasn't with them, because this took me a good couple of years to sort of get over this whole accident, and I just lived up over here on this corner, a bit further around past the train lines there. That's where I lived, so I lived about halfway between the pub and the tavern. So we're coming up to it. Yeah, so luckily for me, I couldn't get a lift. But coming up to the spot now. So this is the roadside memorial for Alicia. Like I said, she was only 17 years old, I believe. So I'm guessing sunflowers were her favourite flower. In the background there, you got the McDonald's sign. So her friends or family must have put this up there. So like I said, I just lived across the road there, just where all the cars are coming around the corner, just down there. So we'll go back down the road from where we just walked up to this telegraph pole. So as I think I was walking up the other side of the highway, down the access road, and I've crossed over, and say 20 metres down there, all the power lines were across the road, so silly me just stepped across them. And when I got here, just near that second arrow there was a group of guys I knew standing around. I went up to them and said, oh, what's happened? They said there was a car accident, a couple of girls had been hit. And they pointed over to where Alicia was, and I believe it was this telegraph pole here. She was lying here on her own. Down there, that middle tree there, I think is where the car ended up stopping. May have hit that. And there was 3 boys at the back, a sister at the front, and then the driver. And I know the 3 boys got out and ran away. So that was pretty gutless of them. And they didn't even stop to render assistance. I think there was one of the girls that was hit was dragged down to there. I think she had a serious leg injuries. The other girl, I'm not sure what happened to her, but Alicia was lying here. So I've come over and just tried to comfort her and wait for the ambulances to come. It seemed like forever. So like I said, I was just holding her hand while we waited. Finally the ambulance came, and they asked me to hold the torch, so I was holding the torch while they gave her a shot of adrenaline. I could see that she wasn't in a good way. I'm not sure how long after that her father arrived. But before that, the police came here, and they came over to this spot here, and they were saying, oh, what are you doing? And I said, look, isn't it obvious? I'm holding the torch for the ambos. But I don't know, they weren't that impressed, and I wasn't really impressed with them either. So once her father got here, I sort of left the scene. After that, I guess I just left, and I walked up the road to the tavern where one of my mate's girlfriends was there, and I told her all about this and what happened, and ended up that she was one of her good friends. So I think it was the next day or a couple of days later, she asked me if her dad could ring and just ask me what happened. And I don't know, I wasn't really too sure, but I guess I said yes. So he did end up ringing me, and I couldn't really tell him. He wanted to know how the accident happened. I didn't know because I didn't see it. But I told him what I did. I think I told him that I was there. She wasn't alone. Um, I was holding her hand while we waited for the ambulance driver. So hopefully that brought him a bit of comfort to know that his daughter wasn't alone. So like I said, that's the story of Alicia. So that's about it for this little story of Alicia Snaith. I think she was age 17, killed by a drink driver who shouldn't have been driving, whose carer should have said, no, you're not driving. So, and I believe that the girl ended up spending at least 3 years, I think it was 3, maybe even longer, in jail. So I think she went to Silverwater first and then Emu Plains Prison Farm for Women. We're just going to head on up to Falconbridge now, is where Alicia's remains are, and I'll bring you back when we're up there. Right, so we've just arrived up here at Falconbridge in the Blue Mountains, New South Wales, Australia, to the cemetery. I have been here before. You could go back and check that video out. It was one of my first. So just behind me over there is Sir Henry Parkes, the father of Federation. So it is windy up here, so hopefully the audio is not too bad. So we'll take a walk through the small cemetery here, and we'll see if we can find where Alicia's final resting place is. Bring you back. So that's the grave of Sir Henry Parkes and his wife, one of his wives, Clorinda, Lady Parkes. So I believe that she's buried, or her remains are here in these terraces. She was cremated. So we'll have a look around, see where we can find her. There's azaleas. This is the azalea terrace. So we just had a look on Find a Grave, and Alicia is here in the native terraces. So we'll just walk along until we come up to her marker. It's row N5, and she is right here. It's got a flower left, a Christmas tree, it looks like a cherub. Very dearly loved, never forgotten. Alicia Kathleen Snaith, a beautiful young woman gone too soon. The 26th of April 1997, age 17, is the year that she died. So, rest in peace, Alicia. I hope you felt that I was there with you that night, trying to comfort you. So there's a nice little seat here that her family and friends could sit on and remember her by. There's a big star there as well. I guess she was a superstar. Didn't get to live her full life to become a woman, a mother. But it is nice and peaceful here, so hopefully she is, not hopefully, I know she is, she'll be resting in peace. Okay, so that about just wraps up this visit to Alicia's final resting place. A little bit about the story of what happened that night, what I saw. If you found this interesting, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video on talking headstones. Bye for now.